Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl as always, Tricilia. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If not, welcome back. So today I want to talk about my Christian walk. I'm gonna try and put pictures because I feel like when you have proof or pictures, it does make it more reliable. I've been a Christian my whole life, but the way I've practiced Christianity has always changed. So my mom's family were Protestant and my dad's family is actually Catholic. When I was raised, I actually had lived with my grandfather, so I was in the Catholic church. We were actually in the dancing team of the church. We were the one that would guide the priest to his actual seat, right? And I really like doing that, and I will put certain videos when I went back to Congo in 2019. I had recorded some of those, then you guys can see what I actually mean by that. When I was 12, we traveled from Congo to Belgium. In Belgium, we went to a Protestant church actually, but I'm not gonna lie, I did not have a relationship with God. You gotta understand that in that time frame of me being 12, I had lost my mother, so I really came in this way of living that God did not exist, because if God existed, obviously he would have never allowed my mother to die. I had a bad temper. I was bullied at the same time at school, but I just had so much hate in me, right? I would sing at church. I used to sing at church, but I was such a mean person inside. I used to, you know, sneak out. I remember the first party I went to, I think I was 16 or 15. Me and my friend actually sneaked out of the house. When I started growing up, you know, I tempered down, you know, but I still didn't have a personal relationship with God. It stayed like that for a very long time, and I think in churches there is a lot of abuse, there is a lot of things that are done that I really didn't find correct. So for me, I wasn't really motivated to even bother to create that relationship with God, because back then I used to think God is the church. So if I wasn't going to church, I was not a true Christian anyway. When I was 17, I started dating someone that I cared for a lot, and that person had a different religion than me. And this is a proof that I really didn't care about my religion, because back then I didn't really care about the difference in religion. I didn't really make a big deal out of that, but of course after a time it doesn't work. When we broke up, I really used to party. I was partying. I tell you, I was depressed at the same time. I was partying at the same time. I was sneaking out of the house. I was drinking. I think the drinking really got me. The first time I tasted alcohol, I'm not gonna lie, that was the best time, the best day of my life. It felt so good because I didn't have to talk to someone about, I don't know if you guys noticed the difference, but I just changed my camera because my Canon camera was empty. So this is my actual Lumix, the one I usually record with. So I was saying I didn't have to talk to anybody about the pain I was feeling. I was going from relationship to relationship. I had this void that was left by everything that had happened to me, and I tried to fill that void. I tried dating. It did help for a long time. I tried partying, I tried drinking, I tried everything, and I came into a point where I turned 21 and I felt an urge to go back to God. I think whenever God wants you somewhere, it doesn't matter how long you try to avoid it. If he wants you somewhere, it is gonna happen. Spiritually, I wasn't there. Spiritually, I felt like I was a baby and I wanted to grow. And I remember in January of that year, 1 month before I turned 21, I prayed to God and I said that I wanted someone to bring me closer to God, right? Crazy enough, 3 weeks later, I had met someone that I ended up having a relationship with that, and you know, that was also something really bad. I just came out of one and I jumped into another. It was just clearly my way of dealing with pain and dealing with whatever I was going through. And that person was actually someone that did fear God a lot, and someone that would actually coach me. He would be like,
your way of dressing, you know, Tristolia, that's not okay. You shouldn't be exposing your boobs like that.
And in the beginning, I was very annoyed. I was, why? Like, you're a man. Why are you telling me what I should be wearing? You know, I was pretty gangster with it. So through that person, I had met God. But even then, I still did not have a personal relationship with God. You know, people would see us together, so I had to behave a certain way. I had to live up to a certain standard. When I look back at it, I didn't do it because I felt like that's what God wanted me to do. No, I did that because I felt like that was what my partner wanted me to do. That relationship ended at the end of last year. I was in a place where I felt so empty. I don't know if a lot of Christians have that. It hurts so bad because you have all those great people around you, you have all those great friends around you, but you still feel so lonely. I felt dirty. I felt let down by everybody. I felt like, what am I even doing on earth? You had guys talking to you, but it didn't faze me anymore. In the beginning, if a guy would talk to me, I think it's because I was so insecure in the past. If a guy talked to me, I would jump on it. I would be like, yeah, tell me I'm beautiful, tell me I'm cute. But I didn't want to be filled by a guy. I did not want to be loved by a person. I desired more. And that's when I actually sat down in my room. I cried, like I bawled my eyes out. I prayed. And I think that was the first time I really had a true encounter with God. Like, you feel it. Like, it's not just how you see it in movies. I think I cried. I was being sincere. I was apologetic. I was sad for everything I had done. I was upset at life. I was upset at everything. And the big problem was that I was about to start my exams. So it was the wrong moment for me to be in my feelings, but I was. You know, God does things His way. That day was the day God wanted to do things His way with me. The moment I was like, God, I am done. When I said I was done with doing it myself, I said, if you don't take the wheel, child, I might end up killing myself this month. That was the day I started my real walk with God. I came from partying, from cursing, from being such a nasty human being, filled with anger. And that day, after I finished crying, I felt washed. I felt clean. I felt like my sins were forgiven. I felt like everything I had done before that was not important anymore. I felt welcome. I come from a family of believers. My mom was a believer. My aunts are believers. In my generation, I really wanted to have that as well, and not just because I saw people having that. I think that's one of the mistakes that a lot of Christians make. You want to have that Christian life because of what you see. You see people talking in tongues, speaking in tongues, you want that. You see people being invited in places, you want that. I had learned to decline invitations because I translate and sing at church. My boyfriend at the time used to tell me, you don't have to be at every place. And I was like, no,
I want to do the work of God. I want to translate everywhere.
But now I'm like, did I really want that, or was it just because that was what I used to see? And how I saw the hand of God was that was the most vulnerable moments. I wasn't able to really study. I wasn't able to really focus on my exams the way I would have wanted it to. The results I got from that exams period were the best I've ever had. That was how I really understood that God is a God that does everything on His time, that can take a person that feels worthless, because that's how I felt, and He can switch it. He can make you feel like you are the most valuable person in His eyes. And that's something I have learned to cherish. Even now, I'm very selfish in my relationship with God. I really don't like involving a lot of people in it. And the reason I think I didn't want to give my life to God that soon was because I was living sinfully. From the moment that you realize that God is not a God that's a God that's there to punish you. He's such a loving God that always takes you back, that will show you the right way, that will let you live your life. And take certain choices, but he will show you this is the consequences if you continue that walk. And whenever you start fearing him, you will stop doing certain things by yourself. So this is just to encourage someone that it doesn't matter where you come from. Even though people will judge, people will talk, people will be like, oh, didn't you used to do this? I heard that a lot. Oh, didn't you? Were you not the girl that we saw dancing and talking crazy and fighting? You know, I was so filled with anger. But God really flipped the switch on me. He really switched it for me. I want everyone to get to witness that love, because that was the love that had cured me from feeling empty, because I've been feeling empty my whole life. You can have a boyfriend that treats you like the queen that you are and still feel very empty. I have no more anger in me. I have forgiven people that I could not even forgive even after my baptism. So yeah, that was the Christian talk of today. God bless you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.